All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast. And for the final segment of today's show, we are going to talk about the National League playoff picture. So, I did talk about an injury that occurred last night in one of the games. Jake Berger of the Marlins left with quad tightness, so that's huge. Luis Arraez still being out. That does put a dent in the Marlins' chances when it comes to making the playoffs. Right now, they sit a half game out, but that's two of your best hitters not in your lineup. That's definitely going to have an impact on you going forward, especially now with the last full week of the season coming up and dogs barking again. Um, they're an underdog right now. Every time that happens, if depending on who I'm talking about, I'm just gonna say right now they're an underdog. So yeah, so again, probably the mailman or something. I don't know, or it could be nothing. Sometimes she barks. I don't think I mentioned this. Sometimes she barks. Might have been on the Patreon. She barks, and it's just like, what are you barking at? But if you knew my dog, she's a nut job. So, but yeah, so the Marlins are underdogs, as my dog Bella barks. Um, but yeah, they had a bad loss last night, losing 8-3 to the Mets. Kodai Senga picked up the win in that, improving to 12-7 on the season with a 2.96 ERA. He's had a very good season. Not going to win the Cy Young, but he has had a very good season for the Mets, and at least they have that going into next season. And Mark Vientos and now she's coming up the stairs. Mark Vientos actually had a good game, 2 home runs yesterday for the Mets. Josh Bell hit a home run, but Brett Beatty hit a home run too, and he's a guy that's been struggling for the Mets. But and Nimmo hit a home run as well, 24th on the season. But yeah, not a good showing for the Marlins yesterday, especially because the Mets, they've been out of it for a while, and they couldn't afford that loss. But yeah, they sit a half game out, and yeah. So hopefully Jake Berger is able to come back. Hopefully Arraez is back in the lineup because they need him. They need him. So Phillies beat the Braves 6-5. I mean, the Phillies are kind of set in where they are at the moment, but again, things could change. But I don't anticipate that. Diamondbacks won 7-1 over the Giants, so that's a bad loss for the Giants. Logan Webb dropped to 10-13 on the season. Kelly improved to 12-7. And the scoring summary there. So Lamonte Wade Jr. he started off the Giants, they've started off these last 2 games like really well against the Diamondbacks, and then everything just like falls apart. Lamonte Wade Jr. hit a home run. It was 1-0 after the top of the first. Christian Walker had an RBI single to tie it. Tommy Pham RBI ground out or force out to make it 2-1. Alec Thomas RBI double to make it 3-1 Diamondbacks. Corbin Carroll, like I mentioned in the beginning of the show, hit his 25th home run of the season to make it 4-1. Then Kentel Marte homered to make it 5-1. Moreno RBI single. Emmanuel Rivera an RBI single to make it 7-1, and that ended up being the final score. So the Diamondbacks, big win for them, and they improved to 81-72 on the season. So they're in a good spot right now. A bad loss last night for the Cubs. They dropped to 13, or they lose to the Pirates. Sorry, they lose to. He was getting tongue tied there. 13-7. They lost to the Pirates, and this was with Justin Steele on the mound. And this is a big start for Steele for the Cubs and for himself with the Cy Young. And he only pitched 3 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, and his ERA jumped to 3 on the dot. So, yeah, he kind of fell out of the Cy Young, and that is a huge loss for the Cubs. They dropped to 79-73. They currently hold the final wild card spot in the National League by half a game over the Marlins, but it's not good to do that. And especially you have your best pitcher on the mound and he goes out there and does that, especially at this point in the season, it's not good. But yeah, actually the Cubs were winning after the second inning. They were up 1-0. Suzuki had an RBI single. And then the Pirates put up a 7 spot in the 4th inning. Cubs actually did make it interesting in the bottom of the 5th. So they were down 8-1. Christopher Morel hit a home run, his 24th on the season. Ian Happ ended up hitting a grand slam. So it was 8-6, but then the Pirates tacked on more runs to make it 11-6. And final score ended up being 13-7. So again, especially against a team that is having a bad year, Cubs couldn't afford that loss, and that's a big loss. Now they're still currently in a playoff spot, but that's not what you want. Padres actually picked up another win, so they're still hovering around. So right now, let's look at the. Let me see. So yeah, I did touch upon the Twins and the Reds. Reds are 79 and 75. After that loss, but yeah, I think that's it. Did I miss anything? I mean, the Brewers won 8-2. Josh Donaldson hit another home run, so I guess he's back. I mean, it was only his only hit of the game. I mean, he's still batting 159 and 690 is his OPS. But I mean, his numbers in 9 games: 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, 219 batting average, 324 on base, 469 slugging, 793 OPS. But again, it's only in 9 games. But I expected him to play better with the Brewers, because that's just what happens. Oh, and that was the third player I was like, so Gallo's going to make the playoffs, Hicks is going to make the playoffs, and I'm like, there's one more player that I'm missing, and Donaldson is that third player. So, but yeah, let's look at the current standings in the National League. Obviously, Braves and Dodgers, we don't really need to focus on that. Brewers are 7 games up on the Cubs, and their magic number is 4. So they will clinch this division and have it wrapped up by the end of the year, barring a collapse, but I don't see that happening. The Cubs 3-7 in their last 10 games. Brewers have been playing well, 7-3 in their last 10, so the division's going to be clinched. But yeah, it just kind of stinks, because I was looking forward to that last series against the Cubs if the division was going to come down to that, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So it's actually interesting. So right now, you got the Phillies at the top. You got the Diamondbacks, 81 and 72. You got the Cubs, 79 and 73. Phillies are 83 and 69. So those are the 3 teams. Then you have the Marlins, who are a half game out. The Reds are 1. The Giants are 3. And the Padres are 75 and 78. They're now 4.5 games back of that wild card spot. 8-2 in their last 10 games, and they have won 7 in a row. So don't look down. The San Diego Padres, they still have a chance. They still have a chance. Now, they got to keep winning. They got to win every single game if they're going to have any shot. But listen, Cubs haven't been playing well. Marlins dealing with injuries. The Reds, the Giants struggling a little bit. Well, the Reds at least have lost their last 2. Giants have lost their last 2, but the Giants, you'd probably say 4 and 6 in their last 10 games. That they're struggling more so. Padres, I don't know. Maybe they got a run in them. Maybe they can make it, because 4.5 games back, and we still got, a week and a half, a little around that to play. I don't know. With these other teams losing, maybe you find yourself, like, just imagine that. Me saying, oh, they've been a disappointment this year, and many people have said that, and they're not going to go anywhere, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they just somehow make it. Because 4.5 games back, I mean, it's not insurmountable. It's still going to be tough. You still have to win games, but you're still mathematically in it. There's 6 more games until they're eliminated, so, wins from other teams and if they lose. So let's actually look at the Padres' remaining schedule. So they play the Cardinals, they play the Giants, and then they play the White Sox. Okay. That is a soft way to end the year. Now, the Giants are going to be fighting for the wild card as well still, but you could jump the Giants. You're playing the Cardinals, and then you play the Giants. You could jump the Giants, and then you go from there. Giants are playing the Dodgers. Giants are playing the Dodgers, then the Padres, and then the oh my God, the Giants are playing the Dodgers, the Padres, and then the Dodgers again. So it's possible. And then the Reds are playing Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cardinals. So that's doable for them. Marlins, they got the Mets, Milwaukee, and they got Milwaukee, then the Mets, and then Pittsburgh. So Milwaukee's going to be tough. Cubs got the Brewers to finish off the year, and they also have the Braves. Well, they do have the Rockies, then they have the Braves, and then they have the Brewers. So, it's possible. It's possible, but the Padres have to win games, though. Padres can't afford losses. If they can win, if they continue on this winning streak, and they get it down to 2 games, 2 games, it's possible. It is possible. That would be insane. They come from nowhere, out of nowhere. They're dead in the water, and they just rise up, and they make the playoffs at, with 84 wins. That would be incredible. That would just wipe out any. I shouldn't say wipe out any of the complaints that they had, all the complaints, but that's something to keep an eye on, because it kind of was going, for me, it was going unnoticed, because I'm just focusing on the other teams, because the Padres were, they were 8 out, 7 out, 6, and then 5, and now they're 4.5. Listen, it's doable. It's doable. But they still need a lot of help. They need teams to lose. They got to keep winning games. But like I said, they got a soft finish to the end of the year. It is possible. It definitely can happen. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's going to be something to watch out for. Keep an eye on the Padres, because listen, I give them a shot. I give them a shot. Now, it's not a great shot, but I give them a chance. I give them a chance based on what's left on their schedule and who some of the other teams are facing. Because if you go and you beat up on the Giants, you pass them, right? Cubs have been struggling, and they hold the 3rd spot. Marlins are dealing with injuries. It's possible. So, yeah, we're going to end off the show there. So, great show as always. I thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go and record the Patreon for the half hour. So make sure, to sign up on the Patreon so you get access to the exclusive content there. And that is all the time that we have for today. So once again, I thank you for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday already. Weeks just fly by. 11 a.m. Eastern time. So make sure to tune in. And I'll be working on getting the other shows up. The yesterday's show is in the process of being uploaded, and the broken down segment parts of it. So you can check out and watch the individual segments if you missed anything from yesterday. And that's basically it. So until then, I'm Kenneth Gruenfelder signing off. Have a good day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the games tonight, and I'll see you then. Take care.